We've got week one. So let me break week one down. We have the first thing I'd like you to do is a welcome activity. So take a look at that. I want you to introduce yourself, right? This is a great way to connect with folks in the course. Say hi. What would you like us to know about you? You can post a photo. And then question number two, we're just going to delve right into this course. Do you have any questions or comments or concerns about alternative grading? This is the grading system I propose to use for this class. I've used it for many years. My students have guided me towards this new system. This is changing higher ed, this is changing college. But I want to hear your feedback on this, right? You all know traditional grading, A, B, C, D, F. You get one shot. You get one chance to do something. If you get a C on something, that's it, right? You can't retake a quiz. You can't retake a test. You can't redo a paper. So alternative grading is like, no, you have as much time as you need. This is on your time, not the instructor's time. You can revise anything, and you'll self-evaluate yourself. I'll give you a Canvas grade, right? If I was traditionally grading an assignment, I'm like, okay, here's what that traditional grade would be. But ultimately, you're going to self-grade, you're going to self-assess. And so that'll look like 2 letters, a mid-quarter letter, a final quarter letter, where you talk about your learning. You quote from the essays, the discussions to prove that you learned something. You can quote from any work that you've done to show, look, this is what I learned, right? These are some of the outcomes that I've met. And then my grade is, based on my learning, I give myself an A or a B. So that's what I propose for this course. So take a look at the Getting Started module. You'll see what alternative grading looks like. You'll see those self-assessment letters that I'm talking about. So let me know what you think in this question too. And continuing on for question 3. So that's our first little to-do activity. And then you'll see that I have some bigger do items for you. Think of this as our first small assignment. I don't think this is really a big assignment. Our first small assignment is we're gonna write the personal statement for the Lake Washington Foundation Scholarship. This just opened up. This is gonna be due in about a month if you actually wanna use this assignment to apply for that, right? This is the give me the money assignment, like where's the money? This is a real assignment for a real audience for a real purpose. You are writing to the Foundation Scholarship Office. The average award is $1,000. Think of it this way. Who are the readers for this, right? The purpose is to apply for money. The audience is the staff at the foundation office on campus, but they also ask for volunteers of faculty and staff to help read these applications. So you're writing to people like me and college staff, faculty, and also admin. So think of that, that's your audience that you have to persuade. Okay, so your big reading is, I want you to click on the LW Tech Foundation Scholarship. And there's like 10 little links. You really you need to read everything, right? So you'll get here to this main page, like what is this scholarship? What is this about, okay? So as you can see, it's open. It's actually due February 2nd if you're gonna use this assignment to apply. So you have about a month. Our version of this, right, for this class is your draft is due this week, and then the final draft is due next week. But if you're gonna use this assignment to actually apply, it's February 2nd. And read all this, scroll down. Here's the writing that they want you to do for this scholarship. So we're literally just using this prompt, right? Essay question 1, essay question 2, essay question 3, and then there's an optional essay. So each of these is going to be about 200 words. So think of this as, this is about 1.5 to 2 pages of total writing double-spaced, okay? So that's what the college wants. That's what I want. And again, this is a real audience and a real purpose and a real message, right? Why? What would you do with this scholarship? What are your academic goals? What are your career goals? And you need the main outcome, well, one of the main outcomes for this paper, and I love this assignment, and my students have told me over the years how much they love this assignment. This is teaching descriptive writing, being specific. So for example, don't say, I don't know what I want to do. I want to study the sciences, right? You have to be extremely specific and descriptive. Not I want to study sciences, but I want I want a bachelor's in nursing, and I want to go on to be a travel nurse so that I can serve in this country where Americans are most affected by disaster. I want to go in this country where nurses are needed most. Okay, do you hear how that's a story, that's being descriptive? Okay, you want to be a travel nurse, you want to get the AS, then the BA. That is being descriptive rather than, I don't know, I want to help people, I want to study science, right? Or I don't know, I like computers, they're fun, I play with them. No, you could say, I want the AS in our cybersecurity degree. I want to go on to protect the critical infrastructure of this country from attacks. Okay, that's very specific, right? So not I like computers. I want a cybersecurity AS degree and I want to protect, right? So do you hear the difference between being general and being extremely specific? And also, like, how do you give back with this degree, right? That's also what we want to hit. Right? Not like, oh, I want to study computers, but I want to study, again, computer science so that I can help create the next generation climate models, which all use computers, so that I can help save the environment. Do you hear how that's very descriptive and it's a story? That's essentially what the personal statement is all about. Can you tell a story about, right, your broader goals? And can you be really specific and descriptive? That's it. That's what you're doing here. Okay, so there's that. Again, that's the foundation scholarship. And think of it this way. You'll submit that to your draft, right, of answering those 3 questions. You'll submit it to 2 places. You'll submit it to this assignment box where I give you feedback. And then you'll submit it again to a general discussion board where you'll give each other feedback. Okay? So you're going to take your same personal statement and just stick it in 2 different boxes. You'll get my feedback over here, and then you upload it to the discussion board, and that's where you're going to give feedback to each other. And I'd like you to post it there and give your colleagues, give at least 2 colleagues feedback, right? So read 2 personal statements of your classmates and give, right, 2 separate feedback review comments. And I give you sort of examples of that. Okay, and then I have readings on what is a personal statement, drafting the personal statement, and then some optional readings if you want to go further and that's helpful. So take a look at those readings. I'll give you one example. This reading, right, what is a personal statement with examples? It breaks down a personal statement and it has some really good examples, right? So you'll see those examples. There's one about, right, growing up as a child of a lawyer, and there's one about math and science and the student wanting to go into mechanical engineering. So there's 2 really good examples here of what a personal statement sounds like and feels like and looks like. So take a look at that. And then the other reading on personal statements can really help you outline your personal statement. So let me go through that for a moment. That's the drafting the personal statement. So let me pull that up. And this is a great way to start too. If this one breaks it down by, you can look at LW Tech's mission. You can sort of show how what you want to do, what you want to study meets the mission of this college, right? That's really going to convince and persuade the scholarship audience, okay, they're meeting our mission, right? Our mission is ethical reasoning, global citizenship, and right, they want to be a travel nurse and they're going to meet that mission, right? So that's one way to think about this. Another way is to start drafting, okay? So you can start going through let me pull this up. There's different categories, right? You can divide a paper into personal, community, academic, and professional, okay? And in each of those words, those concepts, you can start breaking that down. you can write down ideas about, okay, what do I do personally that gives back, or in my community? What are my academic goals? What are my professional goals? So you can use those 4 things to really start brainstorming and breaking down. And if you find that one of those you have more experience, then you can focus on that, right? If you have a lot of community volunteering that you do, you can use that for a lot of the basis for the scholarship. Um, or if it's more academic, right? You really know what you want to do academically, focus on that, okay? Or your professional goals, right? I want to be a travel nurse, okay? I want to describe what that looks like and how I'll serve in that role, right? Then focus on that. So that's this. Think of this as a great way to outline your personal statement. Okay, folks. I think I'll make another video talking about alternative grading, but this is essentially week 1. You've got the discussion due, and then the draft of the personal statement where I give feedback, and then the draft again where you give feedback to each other. Then you have a bunch of readings on how to write the statement, what the statement is, the 3 questions, and then you'll notice that next week the revised statement is due. You'll get my feedback and you'll get peer review feedback to help you revise that. So that's next week. Okay, and again, I'll make another video talking about the syllabus and alternative grading. If you have any questions, please, please, please email me. My email's in the syllabus. I'm always available to meet over Zoom or through email. Thank you, folks.